Hi guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com. Today we're going to learn Sirius by the Alan Parsons Project. And this lesson is kind of a different take from what we usually do on Rock Class 101, which is solo ukulele arrangements. You know, a lot of it is fingerstyle. This one's going to be using a loop pedal. So here's the loop pedal that I use. I use one called a Ditto Looper. It's by TC Electronic. It's a very simple loop pedal. It just has one knob for volume control, or really like the loop level. And then it's got an engage switch. So that's what you use to create the loops. So if you hit it once, you lay down a loop, hit it again to stop it, and that creates the first loop. If you hit it again, you can lay another loop on top of it. And say you want to erase that loop, you can hit that switch again, hold it down, and it takes off the previous loop. So it's really cool. You can do 5 minutes of looping with that pedal, and an infinite amount of overdubs. And it's priced at $100, so it's super affordable. This lesson really was inspired by quite a few emails that I received. A lot of members apparently have loop pedals and they use it to practice. I think that's a really cool idea because one of the best ways that you can better yourself is by playing with other musicians. But a lot of times, you know, that's not possible because of time constraints or whatnot. So a loop pedal allows you to lay down rhythm tracks, practice soloing, putting other harmonies on top. It's just a really fun way to practice instead of always playing something by yourself on the uke. So I would definitely recommend checking out getting one. They're just a blast to use. So this lesson was created for a loop pedal in mind. So this arrangement has 5 loop sections. We're going to be learning the first 3 in this video. And the first 3 are going to be the motif, which is a recurring melody. So that's basically the underlying melody that plays throughout this entire piece. And then we're going to be learning the harmony, which are the chords that go on top of it, and the rhythm, which is the backbeat, the slaps that we add on the ukulele's body. So the 4th loop is going to be the melody, and the 5th loop is going to be the solo. If you want to learn the complete arrangement, you can do so at rockclass101.com. There you'll be able to get part 2 of the lesson, which covers those last 2 loops. And you're also going to get access to the tabs as well as the on-screen tab viewer, which lets you hit play with this YouTube video or just the audio alone. And you can highlight bars, you can loop bars, you can slow it down to whatever speed. It's a great asset for learning how to play this tune. Now, if you are a premium member already at Rock Class 101 and you're saying, I don't have a loop pedal, I don't really want to buy one, I've got you covered. There's 2 backing tracks, so you can learn the melody and then you can learn the solo and you can use the backing tracks to play on top of them. So that's provided for premium members. So let's go ahead and get started with learning how to play the motif. Okay, so that's basically how the motif sounds. I played it 2 times throughout. You're going to be playing it 8 times for this entire arrangement. So the first loop that you would create would be the motif, and you would want to play it 8 times throughout. So 1 time equals 1 bar. It sounds like this. Okay, so it's just that short. So let's learn what we're doing right here. Basically, it's between strings 2 and 1, and you're going to be playing only in open strings and the 2nd fret. So it's very simple. So we're going to go 0, 2, okay? 0, 2 on string 2. And then we're going to go to 2 on string 1, and then back to 2 on string 2. So I'm only going to use my 2nd and my ring finger for these 2 notes. So there's our first one. Again, I have 0, 2 on string 2, 2 on string 1, back to 2 on string 2. Okay? Then I'm going to do a quick hit on string 2 with my 2nd finger still held down, and then an open string 2. So here's what that sounds like. Okay, again. One more time. Okay, after that, I'm gonna go back down on string 2, and then I'm gonna do an open first, and then back to string 2. Okay, and that holds for a second, and then you're gonna hit it one more time. You're gonna hit string 2 one more time with that second finger down. So the second half is this. Okay, one more time. So you can see I'm playing 2, 0, 2, 2, right? And I'm calling out the 2 as in my second finger held down on the second fret of string 2. Right? So if I put part 1 and 2 together, I would have. Okay, again. So the best way to learn it too is just to get that melody stuck in your head. Ba 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 ba. So if you can get that rhythm stuck in your head, it makes it super easy to get down. And just practice slowly and then build it up to speed. So you could practice. When you can play it clean and in time like that, then you can start building speed. Right, so you see, you could hear how I gradually just started to speed up, right? So just work at it slowly, and then once you get it clean, just try and boost the tempo up a little bit. So I'm actually using a pick for this right now. You're more than welcome to finger pick it. I would probably use thumb and your second finger. So thumb would get string 2, second finger would get string 1. Either works, you know, if you want to use a pick or if you want to finger pick it, it's totally fine. Now, one effect that I did add to this motif was that it has a slight delay, so the notes kind of taper off. So instead of a note just going ringing out like that, you would hear dang 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 dang, and then it just kind of fades out, right? It's like ba 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 ba, and fades out. So these are just effects that I have on my pedal board. They're not needed, but if you listen to the record, you hear a little bit of delay, and you hear a couple other effects which we're going to talk about that I put on top of the next section. So that's our motif. You're going to do that 8 times, so you've got 8 bars of that, guys. So let's move on to the second part, which is going to be our harmony. And our harmony is just going to be adding chords on top of this motif. So our first chord is going to be a B5, and I'm going to give you guys an easier way to play it in just 1 second, but let's look at the full shape. So this B5 is going to be our index finger on 4 on string 4, our middle finger on 6 on string 3, our ring finger on 7 on string 2, and our pinky on 9 on string 1. And we're just going to strum all 4. Okay? So this is going to hit on the 1 beat for when the song kicks in. So for that first bar, you're going to hit that on the 1 beat, and you're going to hold it out for 2 entire bars. So the easier way to play this would be to ignore string 4 and use your first finger for 6 on 3, middle finger for 7 on string 2, and then your pinky on 9 on string 1. And you would just strum the bottom 3. So there's the easier way to play it without 4 fingers. So again, this gets held out for 2 bars, and then you're going to move it down to a G5. Right, so it's the same shape. So you can see how I slid the easier shape down to the 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 5th fret, and the 4th string we're going to strum, but it'll be open. Okay, so if you were going from the full shape, you would have just like that, right? Or if you go from the easier shape, you would have. Okay, so guys, just remember each of these get held out for 2 bars in length. So the next one is going to be the E5. This one we're going to take our index and bar it on the 4th fret of all 4 strings, and then take your ring finger and bar it on strings 1 and 2 on the 7th fret. Okay? So that, again, will be hitting all 4 strings. And then from there, we could easily go back to B5, the full shape, or you could go to the easier shape. Okay? So our cycle goes for 2 bars each. It would sound like this. If I play the full shape, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what it would sound like, right? Because the whole thing, remember, is 8 bars in length, okay? One thing that I added too was I added just a touch of a chorus effect onto that, onto those chords, just to give it kind of that, 70s vibe, which is what this song is totally all about, right? It's got that kind of like psychedelic rock feel to it. Okay, so there's the second section, which was the harmony. So now we're going to look at the third section, which is our rhythm. Okay, so for our rhythm section, we're just going to be adding a tap to the ukulele's body. And we're going to be hitting on beats 2 and 4. So when you're counting, it would sound like this: 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to add that through all of the 8 bars that you're playing through. And all I'm doing is I'm taking my thumb and I'm just hitting right above the neck, right? But you can hit anywhere you want, really. It doesn't matter. Whatever's easiest or most comfortable for you. So the rhythm is really straightforward. Just make sure you count throughout it so you hit that beat accurately. So that's about it, guys, for the first 3 sections. Again, we covered the motif. For part 1, part 2, we covered the harmony, which were the chords, and then part 3 was the rhythm hits. So if you want to learn the melody that plays over this, which is part 4, and then part 5 is the solo, you guys can learn all of that at rockclass101.com, as well as get the complete tabs, access to the on-screen tab viewer, and access to those backing tracks if you don't have a loop pedal that you can play along with. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this lesson and it's something different. If you liked it, please write a comment below. Let me know. I'll be happy to do more loop pedal lessons. And I hope to see you guys in the next lesson. Thanks.